What's up, gamers, and we are getting a free 5-star selector in version 2.7. So in today's video, we're going to be weeding through all the trash, the garbage, the absolute despair of the standard characters that we currently have in the game, and we're going to be talking about what are the creme de la creme of the standard characters, the ones that you should be picking, the one that you should be building, and everything like that in today's video. So guys, let's go ahead and hop into it here now. We have our little chart off here, 1 through 7. We're going to talk about all 7 of the 5-star characters: Bronya, Bailu, Yanqing, Welt, HIMEKO, and then finally CLARA. So let's start off here at number 7, guys, and this might be the hottest take of the video because I know people are gonna say Yanqing. No, Bailu. Bailu, the bottom of the barrel, guys. Now, the reason why I think Bailu is the absolute bottom of the barrel, guys, is because of the fact the only thing she does is heal. This is all that she does, right? Like, if all you can do is heal, I have so many different options I can choose. I could get a Lynx. She's better than you. Like, if you have a Lynx on your account, there is no reason at all to get Bailu. Why? First of all, Bailu has no cleanse at all, right? So that means she is not going to be helping you out with, like, removing debuffs or anything like that. What else is Bailu pretty shit at? RNG heals. Guys, why do we want our healer to have RNG heals? It makes absolutely no sense to me. So you use your skill, it goes bing, 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 it bounces just like Asta's fat ass it bounces just like Asta's fat ass blast she does when she but on your allies, right? So this also makes her very not viable to use on a team, or it makes her less viable, especially in the content we currently have in the game. We can take a look here at what she actually does. She can heal one single target, which you're targeting that one ally and healing them up. Now, don't get me wrong, the amount she heals for is really nice. Like, she heals for a good amount, but if all that she can do is heal your allies, that's not good. So let's go ahead and talk about what her talent does, guys. She is going to be able to revive one of your allies. Now, my train of thought on this is, well, yes, revive, good, yippee, yippee, yippee. If someone on your team is already dying, that means your healer is already not doing the job that they need to do. So having revive, sure, it's a plus. I put that in a pro. I put that as a pro for her. But your team's dying, like, so that means someone else in your team is probably gonna die. Not to mention, if Bailu is CC'd, it's absolutely OV for your brother. It's down bad, horrendous. Let's go ahead and talk really quickly about invigorating her ultimate. Her ultimate move is gonna be targeting all of your allies. That's really good. And invigorate, I think the ultimate is the best part of her kit, because invigorate, whenever your allies get hit, it gives them a little bit of a healing booster back. So that's also very good for them too. So now let's move on to what our number 6 on the list here, guys, is that's where our Yanqing is gonna go right now. Obviously, I wasn't gonna put him any higher than this. I mean, the good thing about Yanqing, right? He gives a lot of stats, right? So he gives an absolute fuck ton of stats to you. He gives so much crit rate. He gives so much crit damage. Like, he just gives an absolute plethora of stats to you. The problem, though, is he has to be shielded, right? He has to have a shield on him. That means if you don't have a shield or he gets hit, he loses all these buffs. These buffs are canceled out, right? So he cannot be hit. Also, DOTs will also affect him as well, so very down bad there. So you have to make sure that he is not being hit with any type of damage whatsoever. He's like a little snowflake, as his typing might suggest. And then finally, as I mentioned with Bailu, RNG. I hate characters that have RNG. RNG is dumb. RNG is stupid. Unless it gives you a massive benefit, then I think it's dumb. He has RNG with his follow-up moves, which has a chance to freeze the enemy. So double RNG there, unless you have his effect hit rate high, which you probably don't have it high. Let's go ahead and quickly look at what he does here, because like I said, he gives himself a lot of crit rate, right? Crit rate's a very hard stat to get. So if you're very early game, this could be very beneficial to you. He is very single target oriented, so you're realistically only using him in one game mode. Really, like MOC, maybe that's it. Like, I don't think you're even bringing him in Apocalyptic Shadow, just because a lot of the enemies around like do AoE attacks and stuff like that, so you have to make sure he's shielded. I'm sure he could work there, but the Soul Sink ability that he gets, what he gets from Soul Sink is super strong, but the problem with Soul Sink is that you have to use an ability first, and then you get it the next turn, right? So if you get hit, you have to wait a whole other turn before you get this back up, so it brings his damage down quite a bit. So overall, he can be good if you're running him in the correct scenarios. I just don't think he's the best. Now, with his Eidolon, on the other hand, I think his Eidolon is actually pretty nice, because his E1 will allow you to do 60% extra damage equal to his attack to frozen enemies. So if you can get that follow-up attack off, if you can freeze the enemy, if you're running him on a freeze team, his damage will go up significantly. It's a really good amount of damage you're getting from this, and I do think his E1 is something to be looked at, especially if you have all the other standard 5-star characters already. So, like I said, that's where we're going to be putting Mr. Yanqing for now. He is going to go number 6 on our list. Now, into number 5. Many people might think, Japard! No, Welt. Damn, I just realized the screen was all fucked up. You couldn't see the numbers. Anyways, now Welt is a jack of all trades, guys, but this also means that with him being a jack of all trades, he's usually a master of none, and that's where his flaws come in at. Number one thing I don't like about Welt, guys, RNG. Oh my god, it's like the bottom 3 characters here all have RNG in their kit in some way, shape, or form. Yes, he has RNG. That means whenever you use a skill move, he does have a bounce on the skill move, just like As's fat juicy ass. A skill move. Anyways, it does bounce. It bounces across the enemies, right? And the problem with this is it makes it so that you can't really guarantee kills on necessarily like 2 different targets. Like, he's going to hit 1 target and then hit 2 other. It's going to bounce off of 2 targets. So it could go full send on the 1 target, right? If you're facing 1 enemy, it'll hit that 1 target. But if you're trying to really focus down and kill 1 target, it's going to bounce. So could screw you up there. Also, this will be giving a speed down debuff, so that could be good for some teams. Like Don Hung, for example, when you have speed down, he does increased damage. Acheron main, look out for this one right here. Also, a really big con for me with him is very high investment, guys. Like, the amount of investment you have to put into him to make him do like good amounts of damage is really, really down bad. Leads us into our pro right now. I think he has a decently high damage cap. I have hit very massive damage with him before. Like, this is the build I did last year, guys. He was hitting over 200,000 damage, almost close to 300,000 damage. And this is the team we're using him on a Fu Xuan. I can't even remember her name, bro. She's absolutely an ass, but we were using her on the team as well, Ting Yun. So he does have a decently high damage cap that you can hit with him. He just has to be put in the right scenario on the right teams to actually hit that damage cap. All right, gamers, let's move on to number 4 now. Yes, there he is, my boy GIGA. Now, I would normally share this spot with CLARA, I think, and maybe that spoils where CLARA is going to go, right? But overall, I think GigaPart's a really solid unit, right? I think he can be really good for Acheron teams. I think Acheron teams is a massive plus for him, right? Because he's able to shield your allies, right? He's a preservation unit. It means he can run Trends of Universal Market. If you run Trends of Universal Market, that means every time he gets hit, you're putting a debuff on the enemy, which makes him really strong in those scenarios. The problem that I have with him, right, is that he is super reliant on his ultimate move. His ult is his bread and butter, right? Not to say his skill's useless, but his ult is his bread and butter. If you don't have his ult up every 2 turns or so, you're fucked, buddy. His shields are going down, 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 especially if you're getting hit a lot. Also, on top of this, he has no cleanse as well, right? No cleanse means that makes him kind of bad in these scenarios because he doesn't offer effect res like Aventurine offers. He doesn't offer cleanse, so that means no debuffs are getting off of you, so that means you can get CC'd and you can't remove that CC from your allies. You can't remove any DOT from your allies, so DOTs will be eating up that shield as well. Overall, he does rely a lot on his ult and getting the energy back up. If you can get him hit a lot, then I don't think that'll be much of an issue, but a big pro with him, guys, is SP positivity, right? So SP positivity is very, very good. That means you can run them on teams that consume a lot of energy, aka this fucker right here, right? Because he consumes an SP every single turn, no cat, like without question, he is consuming a lot of SP. So having an SP generator on the team, he is going to be really, really good for that. And I do still think he is somewhat viable in MOC and in-game content. It is definitely harder to run him though. I just want to let that be known. Now, CLARA. The problem I have with CLARA, guys, is it depends on enemy type, right? So if you are up against an enemy that doesn't hit a lot, she is not doing damage. Very low damage against enemies that don't hit you a lot, or enemies that don't actually hit you. Like if you talk about the guy that pours his little wine out, he pours his little cup out. He's pouring one out for you, homie, because if he's pouring one out for you, she's not doing any damage, okay? So enemy type does matter quite a bit with her, but big positive with her, usually SP efficient, right? SP efficiency out the window. If you're not using her skill move, you're relying on her getting hit, very, very good. Also, she does a lot of off-turn damage as well, which is also a con with her too, because a lot of her damage is backloaded. You're waiting to get hit to really do damage. But big thing with this is you can use buffers that provide buff off turn. Someone like Yanqing, for example, right? If we're talking about Yanqing, she provides a crit damage, crit rate buff off your turn, and then gives her that buff when it's off turn. So that means if you're using Yanqing's ultimate, if she's getting hit, she's taking use of all that buff, which is super, super nice. And honestly, if you're up against the right enemy, she's a super high damage ceiling, right? Like, she does massive amounts of damage against the right enemies. You can bring her in scenarios that are single target. You can bring her in scenarios that are AoE. She is there, right? Also, I think a really big pro with her too is that she has damage mitigation. Now, this also goes into a con. She has no self-sustain, really. Like, the only thing that she does to self-sustain is damage mitigation, which is not really self-sustaining, right? I think that the damage mitigation is nice, but overall, she can be kind of weird with keeping her alive in certain scenarios. So with that being said, let's move on to number 2 now, guys. It's gonna be Bronya. I'm just joking. It's gonna be HIMEKO, guys. The big thing between Bronya and her, right? I think HIMEKO is really good across every single game mode. I think HIMEKO is very multifaceted in the way that you can use her on multiple builds, right? So multi builds here. absolutely insane, right? Like, you can run her on a break build, you can run her on a crit build, right? If you can't get the crit stats, run her on a break build, run her on a break team with Harmony MC. I think she is really good in those scenarios, and I think that's something that a lot of people overlook, right? They'll go, well, crit build does more damage, and I think, yes, if you're at the higher echelon of a crit build, she does do more damage, but if you have a dog shit crit build or a mediocre crit build, compare that with like a decent break build, this really just focusing on break, she is going to help you out tremendously, right? Like, I think so many people overlook this when I think break HIMEKO is a very good option to use. I just recently did a build guide on her. She does absolutely massive amounts of damage there. And even when you're using her on break teams, you can still run the crit build and her still work out. The big cons with her though, guys, not good in single target scenarios. Single target, cut that shit out. Single target, nope, not good there. Also, she relies on break. You rely on having a lot of enemies you can break, which I think that's why Fugue is going to be really good for her, because you add that extra toughness bar to the enemy, which means it gives her an additional break, which makes her a little bit better in that sense, right? So relying on break is also something that, you know, kind of down bad, right? I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the single target thing, because if you're facing a single target ally, even if you have Fugue on the team, you're getting 2 breaks there, you're still relying on a 3rd break. Generally, the more enemies you have on the field, the more chance you have to break the enemies, which means the more chance you have to actually pop her off. I think one big caveat with her kit actually is that she can't really overcap. She has like no real overcap to her follow-up move she's doing, which hinders her in a way that if you break too many times, like you're having to plan out breaks, you're having to play more big brain with her, because she doesn't overcap with some other characters that overcap their skill and give it to you back and refund it to you after you use whatever, like ultimate or whatever the case may be, right? She's really good in MOC, she's really good in Pure Fiction, and she is really good in Apocalyptic Shadow as well. She works in all 3 game modes. I think this is a very solid pickup, especially if you're out of the early game already. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room here, guys. Miss Bronya Distanya. Stinky! I hate her. I'm just gonna say it. If it were me picking, I'm doing this for the general player. I think Bronya overall is good for early game players. I think she can't help, but goddamn, do I hate Bronya with a fiery passion. I think Bronya, I think Pride Wind glades this bitch up to no fucking avail. This bitch is dumb. Okay, let me tell you why. She is an SP sucking, SP. What did I do that for? Anyways, she's an SP sucking, soul sucking whore, right? Like, she will deplete the SP in your team faster than your DPS, okay? And I don't want to hear it. E1 is an issue, okay? We're going to take a look at this stupid-ass E1, okay, guys? Because E1 is dumb as fuck. People say, her Eidolon 1 is so good. No, it's not. I'll tell you why. This, at max, is a 25% chance to get 1 SP refunded. You might say, but it says 50% right there, YouTube. Bitch, if you get that refund, you cannot get a refund next turn, which, go ahead and throw out the, there's 0% chance there, and then you're having to hit a 50% chance on that turn. This is basically a max of 25% chance. And my luck, if you have bad RNG like me, gamers, yo, it's up for you, buddy, because this turns from 50% to like maybe like a goddamn 5%, bro. 1% in some cases. This shit is egregious, bro. You know, it's a nice to have if you have good RNG. But goddamn, I hate this thing. I hate the RNG that this shit has. They should just, every single other turn that you give you 1 SP back here to make her so much better, and I would like her so much more. But this bitch stinks, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, right? She gives a massive amounts of buffs to you, right? She can dispel a debuff from a target ally. That's better than Bailu is able to do, right? Not only that, she's immediately allowing you to take action, though how much SP that might cost you. Big brain. You gotta be big brain for her. Then she's giving damage bonus. Not only that, you use her ultimate move, she is giving you attack bonus and a crit damage bonus. She gives you a lot of fucking damage, right? A lot of free stats, a lot of fucking damage. Very, very good. Also, her talent will allow her to be action advanced forward when using a basic attack, which realistically, you shouldn't have to be using that. You should be able to use her skill every time and be okay, right? But no, I mean, I guess that's fine to have. But overall, I do think that she is the best character up here. Hands down, 100%. I do think she is better than HIMEKO just because of how much versatility she has amongst different teams. But I hate her. I think she's dumb as fuck, and me personally, I'll be picking HIMEKO. HIMEKO is my queen, guys. She is my, that's a little crown I'm drawing right here. She's my queen, right? HIMEKO is my #1 queen. Anyways, guys, at the end of the day, right, don't build any of these characters. Just build Miss Madam Herta instead. Herta is our queen for real. Herta is the best 4-star in the game. Honestly, secret 5-star, guys. Build Herta instead. Don't build any of these other dumb bitches you see here. Pick who you want to pick, and that's it. Now, if you guys want to see a build guide on each and every one of these characters, maybe they're on the channel already, but if you want to see a comprehensive video with every single character in this video we talked about today as a build guide, Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Later. Bye-bye.